That because of the fact that they have the security of A site being held down by a KJ. Everyone on FaZe here, 5 players, and like you said, they want this fight. Saya player, already aggressive, and we know we can do this. Sheriff, a nice 0-point knife, is going to remove the threat of any sky flashes coming through. And FaZe Clan, that aggression, did not expect that from the guard just to kick things off, but I guess we should now. Forcing FaZe Clan back just a little bit. Causing them to have a little bit of a reset here and re-aggressing here towards the B side. 4 players hovering around this B side. It's a stronghold here from the guard.
And here we go. Only 1 star for shot up going into this. So this one's going to be tough. Saya player is going to be able to get 1, but he gets caught out in no man's land. And FaZe still has 3 players behind him over in B main to try to fight this. But remember how I said 3. There's 4 players remaining here for FaZe. The other one, Baby Bay, look where he's at.
You got to be kidding me. He does it again. A solo play in Baby Bay.
What is his spot for KJ?
Something. Oh, man.
It's fast rotation, I think.
That's not looking, and it's a free kill on a Jonah Peter. Timing. He doesn't take the full peek, and it's colliding bodies. It's colliding bodies. He does get 1. Still has the dash, but Net instantly there for the trade. Now the exit comes through, and FaZe Clan, they realize they need to act. It's still Trent in the middle of the fight. As just a classic and nothing more. As Dicey shot up. Click 1-2. Both players fall, and now it's just on a Net for the 1v3 retake.
Just the 1 star again for that Astra, and they're able to cover off main, and they end up getting both frags. This is massive now for FaZe, but Net, he's done it before, can he?
And it worked out perfectly for them. FaZe Clan able to get that first, recovering nicely, getting caught unaware, and Baby Bay, a little bit of an off angle. Unfortunately, even if Saya player were to be able to click, he would have shot through the legs, nutmeg through him. And FaZe Clan, after that first pick, taking things slow in a 4-man push. 2 players here. A star for a Gravel as well. He's kind of just ready for it.
Yeah, this could be a bit fun. We just didn't see this from the guard when we ended up seeing their game on Ascent. Again, it's just new things here. I don't really know if it's just going to be the aggression that's going to be quote-unquote new. But for the guard, they almost never went for this type of nuclear option. I guess it's just because they're on that pistol round, right? But
yeah, even
then, they haven't exactly made any sort of movement out of that A side either. They were just waiting for some sort of contact, for some sort of push. But it's indeed not going to come in. It's going to be FaZe planning over on B.
I think we're going to see a kamikaze play from the guard here as soon as the spike goes down. And they're still all sitting outside of A. Unbeknownst to them, the B site has been taken. It's like, all right. FaZe kind of like, we have the full B site. They're probably looking for some crazy random like stack, and we'll take our time, get the orbs up. And we have this round in our back pockets unless something catastrophic happens. Rotation coming in from the guard. They've got to take their time to clear these angles, unfortunately. And well, now FaZe Clan, it's feeding time, man. Sharks are hungry, and here comes the little minnows.
Predator meets prey. FaZe, at least. I'm sure they could take a couple flesh wounds. I'm sure a couple of swipes back and forth could actually leave them a bit damaged. That's just going to have to come down to their economy to get damaged, because otherwise, these angles are pretty good. Net! Larry Banks goes for an early peek, and it gets punished. Even then, it's just going to be a bit of a meat grinder.
For a full bonus here from FaZe Clan on the guard. A great opportunity to stabilize the economic situation between the 2 teams. And we'll see FaZe Clan take an early peek out towards this mid side. A very heavy util setup from the KJ of Net over towards Garden. For now, FaZe split towards this A site, but I mean, look at this util combo. It is so deadly. They break the first, they break the second. Still, the Nanostorm comes out, and it will delay for a little bit of time. And now that gives an opportunity for the guard to make the shift and make these rotations.
Okay, Valen. Oh, he is going to get spotted by that owl drone. So in comes the attack. Valen's still able to hold one off. Same thing with Net at the same exact time, but Saya player is actually the one that goes down, and not exactly Net, or excuse me. Yeah, Net, excuse me. Towards that cat area. Larry Banks coming up behind him now. Attackers, they still do have control of A more or less, but they're just worried about these picks instead. Jonah P and Trent taking their time of actually emerging out of heaven. Jonah P is all the way out in the open, and he doesn't get peeked on. That's just bad timing. In goes the flash, in goes the drop. Larry Banks has it all, but the Nanos, he kills his teammate. He kills his teammate. 2v1, fly with a big shot. 25 seconds left.
And FaZe Clan in a sticky situation. Just the presence in heaven alone from the guard is what won them that round, preventing the spike from making that cross. And again, it gives them the upper hand. Not economically just yet. They did lose 3 players, so the big reinvestments back from both of these sides. And we see FaZe Clan With scraps left over economically, need to win this round to stabilize once more, and another A split comes through. But again, 3 players here from the guard again, set up towards this heaven side. We'll see if they can prevent the cross once more.
It was almost a 3-man crossfire, but Sky Flash going through is going to be able to at least get a bit of information. The Nebula is still covering it up. It's going to cover it up for a bit of time. Dicey sits around as the lurker over towards Cap, but more importantly, there's a bigger lurk over towards that mid side. It's actually Larry Banks waiting up potentially for a 1v1 against Net, and that's actually huge because if Net wins this one out, that would be the lockdown. The lockdown has been given to Net. Dicey going in from behind, though. The flank took its time. Dicey, the patience is good, but the guard, they still have their options. Net is here. Net's gonna be able to get one, but he's low on HP, and the kill should be there for Baby Bay, and indeed it is. Oh, Sully, we had high stress for literally like 2 seconds, but I think Dicey just secured the round. Saya player, he could try all he wants, but it's just in terms of Dicey, and nobody's actually coming around to that position. It's all too easy, right? But, I mean, that was their plan from the very beginning. Larry Banks, he has the angle. You know, he pretty much guarantees that nobody's going to come up from behind.
For sure.
He's had that from the beginning, but here we go. FaZe in terms of their own approach. I would call it a default, but they're going quite heavily over towards that mid side. 3 players going up. The Cabbage is coming out at the same time. But even then, the Seeker's only able to find one. Net was able to kind of clear out the rest. But in comes an actual takeover towards the B site. There is one with a classic around the corner, and it's Trent. And he's pretty much the only layer of defense. Net going... What? Net taking a stroll through sight.
Yeah, just trying to see what he can collect, and on low HP, he didn't expect too much from him. This round as a whole felt like the FaZe cleanse from the get-go. One player, that being shot up, just watching for that A aggression. Guard has become a lot more proactive, and FaZe going to kind of take a note to that. One of the big, though, issues when it comes to the guards' Ascent is mid is kind of just this huge gap. And FaZe Clan, if they've done their homework on them and watched the T1 VOD against them, they realize, all right, mid is just wide open, and they can take that almost round after round. There is a single alarm bot there that holds them back, but otherwise, if this is a gap that continues to present itself, we might see bigger issues later down the line here for guard. But again, just an eco round. Saya
contingent on being strong for this A site for the guard, but gonna have to be dependent on that utility. Look at the amount of stars.
Yeah, I think this comes down to a lockdown retake, and if Jonah P gets overwhelmed, he'll peel back into Garden. They have one player out mid, so they know, all right, we kind of have Garden control. That's where the lockdown's going to come through from the guard. Then will cut noise. They have one thing to counter back. That's Fly's Hunter's Fury, but how well does that work? Oh, Recon Bolt comes in. Tags out 2 players. It's a lot of control here from FaZe Clan towards A main, but the guard have already stacked 3 players and a 4th ready to rotate in the form of Net. And his goal is to get into Garden, drop that lockdown, and FaZe Clan, they need to react quickly. Dash, sight comes out, and yup, the guard are just playing safe. They don't need to aggress, but they've used the Hunter's Fury very early in this round. Jonah P will not be flushed out, though, and they come in swinging off of his pop flash. Adjustment and delay FaZe Clan's push.
Yeah, if things got a bit tighter, we would have had that usage of the lockdown. So, I mean, again, the guard, even more W's under their belts, or at least moral wins going into this next round.
Sure.
FaZe putting on at least quite a bit of pressure, but look at this. Saya player sitting in the middle of that nebula looking for something cheeky, but he ends up getting taken down by Dicey. And the rest of the guard, they aren't exactly acting off of that. They just want their current positions. FaZe searching out the A site.
Yeah, look at this. Valen's made a call. It's like, again, we need to play off of this lockdown. They're going to fight here towards Garden, but Baby Bay, are you kidding me? Tries to go for the second. Dicey right behind for that lovely trade. Larry aggressive. He's just going to anchor down and towards Garden once more. And the guard with these 4 ultimates, we'll see what they can pull up here. They have their full buy in their hands. And if they're able to make it work, then they might not need to use all ultimates.
Oh. Doesn't look like it, but again, it's just going to have to come down to the early picks, right? Net does have quite a bit over in mid. Are we going to see potentially a lineup from Fly to try to clear this? Don't really think so. But again, we are looking at an alarm bot alongside the Nano Swarm. And the Trailblazer is the one that triggers everything. So there goes that utility in mid. Because of that, they are essentially forced to play this one up as a crossfire instead. FaZe, off of that one little piece of info, or at least a bit of a piece of audio, they're actually backing out.
So here's the thing, is that they're very happy with baiting out that util, because now mid is completely open, and we just saw Baby Bay tosses smoke towards market and deep smoke as well towards bottom mid. Does mean that they could literally split through mid, and that knife gets nothing, and Saya player already take down is gonna fall. Dicey continuing to aggress his Baby Bay, and they're gonna work together. Can Dicey find it straight? No, not just yet. Flash goes in. He could get a double, but no.
Oh, the
Jonah P
flash!
denies. The guard quick to adjust here. And it's left it on to Shot Up and Flya. The 4 versus 2. No ults to play off of, and they need it, the guard. They've got a whole lot of them.
I mean, that was such a tough scenario, right? We could have had any of those players that ended up pushing Garden. Could have made a massive difference in this round. But instead, we're still paying attention at this 4v2. Flya, he's just going to fight for this. Lockdown in front of him. Flash in the face of these 2 players, and they might as well just go down off of this, right? Jonah P going to be able to get one. Net gets the other. Sort of utility are we going to see early on? I don't think any. It's just going to have to come down to Saya player and a couple of these shots. Oh, boy. And Saya almost came out worse. Yeah, look at Larry.
He's got nothing.
He's still not dead. I think maybe one. How does that even work? It was just a wall bang, right? Yeah, it was just a wall bang that did it. Dang. I thought Saya player was actually the one that came out of that even worse because, dang, just a random headshot through that wall. And instead, it is going to be that rotation back for FaZe. Lots of control back over towards Cat and that'll adapt, but the Seeker's coming out at the same time. Jonah P does have control of backside, and he does actually have Valen to try to help out. Net covering up Cat, and that's going to be the spike. Net has it all now and only has Baby Bay to deal with. Baby Bay waiting up his time, holding up the corner, and not only that, but he's suppressed. He can't even utilize anything. No smokes, nothing. Net still has a Nanostorm at the same time. In FaZe, they only have 2 more options in terms of players in A main.
Yeah, and it's like Larry Banks on 1 HP. This becomes so difficult because you're split apart. Baby Bay is kind of having a solo fight. That Cosmic Divide now voided. No opportunity. And wow, that's 2 players suppressed. Baby Bay needs to have some magic happen here. He does have the spike in front of him, but 2 players already here for the cross. It's a double peek here, and if he's lucky, he could get the spike to make it work, but no. Trent on the other side, and yeah, FaZe Clan. This round just felt so.
And it's not exactly that FaZe Clan didn't have the right idea, but it was really just that timing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that, of course, Dicey went down early on, but we'll see how they plan to adjust. FaZe Clan, a new roster. Things will have to be worked out for now.
Right. Absolutely.
Nice shock dart is going to break this alarm bot and the Nanostorm that was just after it. Trailblazers will to give space here to Baby, but he is playing a solo lurk here, but I double check the corner.
Oh, that right click would have been crazy.
Almost gets out regardless, and there's another fragment grenade drop. Flya not going to be able to escape those clutches. Jonah P gets the afterlife kill, and once more, this utility usage from the guard it's putting a stop to everything that FaZe Clan are trying to do. This mid gap that was once present has been plugged up by those 2 players. And now in a 3 versus 4, still guns to play with, and they need to make this attempt. But once more, we see that disconnect. 1 in B main, 2 towards market. How do they try and sort this out?
And the only way that they can sort this out is just going to have to come down to the crossfires because, again, no stars available. And the Nebulas could have definitely helped out with the cross, but they didn't even need it. Net goes down in a heap, but in goes Saya player. Saya with the updraft, able to take down Larry Banks. In goes the peek from the back line from Trent. Saya going in once again. His knives are completely on point today, but he's not able to get the second. In goes Shot Up now.
But unfortunately, the 1v1s prevent themselves in the FaZe Clan side. They maintain the lead. A guaranteed 6-6 scoreline moving to the second half, and we have the op pulled out here for both sides. First for Baby Bay. Both ops looking towards this mid side. It's slower from both sides. No aggression, no proactivity from the guard this time around. And a little bit from FaZe Clan as they take a decent amount of control over here towards the B main side. But for now, it looks like the focus is back towards the mid. Smoke gets dropped, and well, there is no noise from either side. FaZe Clan are kind of a little bit blind as to the whereabouts of everyone on the guard. They have to be cautious in mid just because of that last round where there were 2 players stacked.
Baby Bay has to go for the first contact here off the op, but it's just going to be op v op and Saya player Spider. He's the one that beats Baby Bay in the 1v1. Jonah P throwing out a knife, seeing if he could suppress anyone. He's only able to get 1 off of that. Saya is just going to keep up the battles here on Cats. This op is on fire today, and Saya, again, it's just all too easy for him. Slow peek out from Flya, barely shows his arm. Now the rest of FaZe Clan, they were trying to make their way into A, but now they've abandoned back over towards B. The Nebula is good. Trent doesn't have anything, but look at the pings. He could get a couple of wall bangs here through the smoke, but it's not going to happen. Larry Banks with an angle back into sight, and is able to take down Nets. Here we go. 3v3. The lockdown does go down to FaZe. So potentially, yeah, this is just going to be a delay. 5 more seconds getting chunked off the clock. Guard all
Oh,
three
there it
players,
is.
sending back over towards the defensive side. They had one ultimate to use, and indeed they'll use it. Cosmic Divide covering off the back of sight. All three players going in, not a single player back over towards stairs just yet. Finally, we go through two. Nanoswarm goes up a bit early. Shot Up is sitting in the middle of sight, but the first contact is good.
Tough corner, and the guard working with absolutely scraps. 2 bulldogs, or apologies, 2 specters and a single bulldog. Only 1 rifle to play off, but this is a rough last round, and FaZe Clan looking to take an 8th, and the momentum heading into that second half. It's a slow round once more. The guard have been kind of humbled. No more proactivity. They're just sitting around here on these sites. 3 players positioned back over here towards A, as Net is at least able to gain some information that there is no one towards the speed side because of his peak, and an Aldrin that we just saw just come out from Trent also confirms. All right, nobody towards mid. But FaZe Clan, they love their A splits here, and it looks like that seems to be the case once more. Double Hunter Sphere coming out, and Flya not able to get a connection, but Trent does find one, and Jonah P just flashes his way through the smoke.
Wonderful, and Jonah P, it just doesn't get spotted by anyone else. There's still 2 players there over towards A main that could have been able to trade, but it doesn't happen. Valen gets 2 and is going to continue his reign of terror. Shot Up is now the last one remaining in a 1v3.
Again.
He only has 1 star to charge up, and like you said, again, Shot Up has had so many clutch opportunities. This is just one of many. Does have a star over in heaven. Does finally use it. Has 1 more remaining. The vent does go down. Is he able to get the kill onto Saya? Can he make his job just a bit easier? 20 seconds left. Shot Up does spot at least 1 over towards the heaven side. Trent drops. 1 more is
Ludicrous. If I'm anyone on FaZe after that insane clutch, all the momentum has swung in their favor, right? And it's not the biggest of factors, but it's definitely something that's going to play, and we'll have to see if the guard, with that 2-minute halftime break, if they can reset. It's a full A exit here, and a retake setup here from FaZe Clan. They've got 2 players posted up in towards Garden, but that's really about it here. The full site take here from the guard leaves us now in a 5v5 retake for this pistol. Flya's got a couple of shock darts. We'll get a little bit of attack. Oh, it denies the spike. It even gets more onto Trent. That is huge.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I mean, that was all the mileage that you could have possibly gotten out of that shock dart. And now we're just going to have to keep going. FaZe, they're slowly gaining pretty much full control of this A site, but they're pinching over on A main. And never mind, 3 players now sitting over in the middle of A. They have all been funneled.
Right home about this round here. It's FaZe Clan again. Better weapons. A much better chance to win this round. Now, Saya might have gone for that peak, but the Nebula defensive maybe certainly is. Alongside Dyson, they find 2 quick easy frags, and yeah, again, FaZe Clan, we expect this round to go this way. It's a nice clean mop up, and a lot of ults will be charged up from this interaction. To create a dash play, we could see those cloud bursts. Obviously, those are a huge impact when it comes to any exec for a Jet, and well, you know, maybe he's gonna go for an exec of his own. No cloud burst to use here just yet, but he's gone very, very aggressive here, and it's put the guard on their toes. They've lost
he's just going
control,
out,
and now they need to try and play differently. No flash, and Base just slipped through.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to get the kill easily onto Valen. Can he get some more? Again, it's just a Spectre, but it's at close range. He's grinding out these Vandals. Can he be able to get more? No, Trent. That was a crazy little spam there from Trent, saving the behinds of guard towards that top mid side. But look at Dicey. How does Dicey get here, and how do they know? He made some noise going back in. FaZe Clan cheeky.
I don't even think it was noise. I don't think it was noise. I think it's just a read, right? You don't really ever solo push in a situation like that. I mean, no sound cues, but they want to check it just to make sure. Dicey tried to play a little bit of a mind game, but the guard, they're quick to it. Now set up here on this B-bomb site. Larry Banks has, got the infamous Ares, the up fire rate. Alarm button's going to be taken down the house.
Oh, this is unpatched Ares, by the way.
Yeah, and well, that gravel will buy a little bit of time.
Here we go.
Can't get it off. Larry Banks with the spray. Nanostorm comes out as well, and that's going to separate these 2 players. 20 seconds left, and it's a 2 versus 2. A Saya player is able to find that one, but 20 seconds left, and Larry Banks, well, money to the bank. He still got this Ares.
Here we go. Larry Banks around the corner, but he's not able to get anything. That would have been so much for Flya, and this plant wouldn't have been able to go down, but instead, the shock dart goes in. They know exactly where he is. Flya coming out. Saya player does have the crouch position. Wow! Flya with a spam that was perfectly onto Saya player. Now both players stuck in the back of sight. Flya is at least isolated. He's not even gonna check double Radiant. He's just going right for it. Gonna be able to get one. Can he get the second? Saya playing ring around the Rosie, and he's just playing right in the middle. Flya's gonna be able to
here to try and play around, so at least they've got 3 rifles here. Otherwise, they would have only really been playing with 2. FaZe Clan, That was their bonus. Now they're back on that full by double shock dart to prevent him from getting it. That's what they're trying to stop Saya player from getting onto, but he still gets onto it nonetheless. And now we'll see how FaZe Clan plan to adjust. The guard instantly back away. Now we're back to a little bit of a default. They just wanted those knives, but Baby Bay's operator, honestly, it's probably one of the biggest issues that the guard are going to run into, because you go the wrong way, you lose a pick almost immediately. Yeah,
it's rare to see a team prioritize knives like that. But again, if you've watched Saya so far, he has been lights out every time that he has gotten this ultimate. And you can't exactly say that for a lot of Jets. It's just been consistent for Saya thus far. But again, he already has an SMG to use. His credits are low. Could have easily saved up those knives for the next round. But the guard certainly put them into effect. A fast play over towards Cat could be able to give them that control they want. Saya just gets the first contact, and he's free into the middle of sight.
Here we go, Korean Jet. What more can he find? Nice fragment grenade out from Jonah P. Does Saya want to aggress off of it? No, he doesn't. 10 HP. He's just going to try and go for a right click, I'd imagine. 4 versus 4 to spam. Not able to deny this spike plants. And it's a 4-on-4 retake. It's Net who's lurking up towards Cat, but it's Larry Banks hot on his trail.
Ooh.
This is to establish guard and control here, but he's making noise, and Net has been wary. Net doesn't find the frag. That's a huge kill to lose out on. Now it's 2 different spots they have to watch out for, and you've given Larry Banks the opportunity. You've given Dicey the space for that flash.
To say the least. FaZe actually going quite a bit aggressive over towards Cat. Are we actually going to see an early pick? No, they actually just use the space for an early bird back over towards A main, but they don't actually get any sort of information. The guard stacked up in mid.
Nice trailblazers. They're coming out from FaZe Clan. It's control towards A and a lot towards B. I mean, you have the jiggle peek coming out from Larry Banks. He's getting that information, feeding it to his teammate. Fly, right? Baby had the interview that we saw yesterday saying Fly is just such a micromanager, and they're adjusting. Tiny little adjustments. Trailblazer goes deep in. The Seekers come out. The Flash goes in as well. And here comes the swing. Dicey lighting him up. 1, 2, 3. A hat trick for him. And, you know, Nets, last man standing, has crept his way out of the ace site, but he's like, oh, what happened to my team? They've all fallen. Just a Marshall to play with, and FaZe.
It's the last thing that guard wants at this point. Potentially a bit of that changeup could just be a bit more scattered of an approach, but it's not exactly going to happen. Jonah P, he does leave himself solo over towards that B site. He does use that null command, or excuse me, that null point just a bit early. But look at the guard currently, still taking up a bit more mid control, but A main is about to get a bit busy.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, is that the guard are kind of getting very proactive towards this guard inside. And they, I mean, FaZe Clan have the lockdown to play the retake. Big frag from Jonah P. Doesn't put him on the ult just yet, but it's a shutdown. Shut up. You can't do this again, man.
Shut up.
3 more kills. And I was going to say, like, the guard are getting kind of really good map control here. Jonah P's able to find that first frag, but Shut Up just shuts it down, man. 4 versus 1, and Jonah P, they know where he is, man. 87 HP with 24 shield left over, but 4 players to find. It seems quite literally. I love that Cosmic Divide, man. So much impact out of that one.
So much impact off of that Cosmic Divide. I mean, text